Hi, I'm Chef Tony Matassa with bbqguys.com. Today I'll show you how to grill the perfect steak. To grill the perfect steak, you have to begin with the perfect steak. That's why I have these two beautiful, aged New York strips full of marbling from my friends at Chicago Steaks. Now the second piece of the puzzle is that you need extreme heat. And for that, I turn to my friends at Lynx. I'll be using their Sear 2 Trident all-infrared burner to begin our sear on these steaks. The first thing you'll want to do is remove your steaks from the fridge to allow them to reach room temperature before grilling. You definitely don't want to put cold steaks on a hot grill. Now let's discuss getting a steakhouse style crust on your steaks. Coating them in oil is a must. Today I'll show you how to do a 50-50 blend with this butter that will clarify in just a second and some high heat oil. I like coconut oil, but if you have another high heat oil on hand, go for it. The reason you want to clarify the butter is it will reduce the tendency for it to burn by raising the smoke point. This is simply done by melting the butter over medium to medium high heat until it simmers and separates, allowing the white milk solids to rise to the top. Now just take a spoon and skim the top of the melted butter to remove the white portion. The other portion of the milk solids will settle to the bottom of the pan. An easy way to separate this is by pouring the clarified butter into another dish. Now just discard what's settled in the bottom of your pan. All that's left is to whisk together the clarified butter and coconut oil. You'll want to let this cool to room temperature before dunking your beautiful steaks. This is a great time to get my Lynx grill preheated. One quick thing to keep in mind when preheating your grill, if you're using a grill that has an infrared section like I'll be doing today, and you have some conventional burners on the other portions of your grill, go ahead and fire all of your burners up to high during the preheat phase because you don't want your conventional section robbing heat from the infrared section. Now once you're good and preheated, if you're wanting to cook your steak past about medium rare, you'll also want to keep the burners on this end down to about medium to somewhere around low to use this as an oven portion of your grill. All right, let's season up these steaks. I really want to taste the awesome beef flavor of these aged Chicago steaks, so I'm going to season them up with just some kosher salt and fresh cracked black pepper. Generously season both sides, don't be scared. We'll be dunking these in the oil blend before grilling, so a small portion of the seasoning will fall off anyway. After a good rub with our seasoning, form your steaks back up high so they'll have a good thickness to them when they hit the grill. Now dunk your steaks in your oil blend, making sure to coat all sides. This is the go-to method you'll see in most steakhouses, a generous dunk in some clarified butter before it hits the infrared heat. My Lynx Sear 2 Trident burner is rolling with some seriously high heat, which is exactly what you want for the perfect steak. Infrared burners produce direct, intense heat to form that steakhouse-style crust that everybody seems to love. Boneless New York strips are generally my go-to steak for grilling, so I'm really excited to try these wet-aged prime Chicago steaks. We carry the full line of Chicago steaks at bbqguys.com, so make sure to check out all their other amazing cuts, which also turn out incredible on the grill. After about 2 minutes, it's time to crosshatch your steaks. Crosshatching allows more area of the steak to come in contact with the grid surface, meaning more delicious crust on your steaks. Let them go for about 2 more minutes. Now it's time to turn them over. Oh wow! Look at that sear! This is exactly why steakhouses use infrared burners. Look at that beautiful all-over crust you get. Steaks have been on about 2 more minutes. It's time for the final crosshatch. With beautiful sear marks in place, it's important to know the internal temperature of our steaks. My go-to thermometer for steaks is a Maverick commercial grade thermometer. What makes it so quick and accurate is that it uses an actual thermocouple, and it tapers to this micro tip at the end, in comparison to the less accurate thermometers that use a generally slower thermistor. The internal temperature of our steak is now at 115 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm shooting for between 120 and 125 for medium rare, so I'll finish cooking them over the conventional burners, which I have set to low, with the infrared burner still on high on the other side of the grill, creating an oven-like environment. I'll let them cook about 1 minute more per side like this to finish to medium rare. Nice! I'm now getting a reading of right under 125. Make sure you allow them to rest for 3 to 4 minutes before slicing, and always look at which direction the grain of the meat is running to make sure you slice across the grain for maximum tenderness. Now this, right here, is my kind of perfect steak. Look at how juicy this Chicago steak is. You really can't beat a prime cut of beef seared on a grill. The flavor is outstanding. That was perfect. All it takes is those few extra steps and you end up with that nice caramelized crust on the outside of the steak and it's still tender and juicy. Perfect. Thank you for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed it and hope that you'll check back often to see more of our videos. I'm Chef Tony Matassa, and remember, at bbqguys.com, we smoke the competition.